Documentary filmmaker Kirta Baruth, originally from West Islip, recently returned to Long Island to present her latest film, Bob and the Monster, at the Gold Coast Film Festival in North Hempstead.
I was really excited being from West Islip. I thought it would be really fabulous to be able to come here, and really the best place for me to debut the film because I have a lot of family here and I love Long Island.
The film explores the real-life story of Bob Forrest of the band Thelonious Monster.
It's about punk rock and addiction and Bob Forrest and the recovery industry. So the story spans Bob's life. Bob Forrest, who was a big punk rock singer-songwriter in the 80s in Los Angeles, and the arc is his story. He became a very destitute drug addict and turned his life around and is now helping people recover from drugs and alcohol. He's also railing against a lot of the current standards in the recovery industry, mainly things like Suboxone and buprenorphine and prescribing drugs to drug addicts. So Bob is a big advocate of abstinence, and so he's trying to bring the recovery industry back to where it needs to be.
And Bob Forrest himself was also at the showing. He talked about his time with Thelonious Monster.
So I was a musician in the 80s in Los Angeles when the kind of, underground American music movement started. Before it was called indie rock, it was just a bunch of kids in vans going all across the country, talking to college radio stations and trying to form a movement, and it became a movement. Then it kind of crystallized with Nirvana. So Me Puppets, Butthole Surfers, those are all our contemporaries, and then after that whole thing ended, I just went into a spiral of drugs and alcohol that not many people get out of.
Kirta and Bob took audience questions after the film. They say there's a lot of important messages they want to share.
Knowing Bob and knowing of his music, I was always really inspired by him personally as a singer-songwriter. And so when I approached him and I heard what he was currently doing, it just, it was one of those moments where I thought that was really going to work out, and so we started working together.
You see most documentaries, usually the people are dead, right? And this is, I'm alive, very much alive, and I've watched it 2 other times, and it's very strange because it's your life unfolding in an hour and 20 minutes. It's very peculiar, and friends of yours say things about you that they never would say to your face. It's a very emotional thing to watch, really. I recommend it for everybody. The message of it is that never give up and redemption is possible no matter where you go or how far down you go. Don't give up. I mean, it's just, the subject is me, so it's hard, but I mean, it's a subject that I know thousands of people, it's the subject of their lives. Anybody that's overcome addiction, it's a story of their life too. Yeah, no, I'm sober now. I have a TV show and my own treatment center and try to help people when I can. Got a new 8-month-old baby boy. Not many 50-year-old former heroin addicts got that. I got a blessed life. And it's possible for anybody.
And the film that is getting that award from Deluxe Films is Bob and the Monster.
Bob and the Monster won the Deluxe Film Prize at the Gold Coast Film Festival. It's worth $30,000 of post-production work on a future film project. It also won the online competition for Best Film Trailer as well.
I feel absolutely grateful and thrilled and nurtured and encouraged. Gold Coast Film Festival has just been a really fabulous experience, and I gotta say, winning an award in your hometown on Long Island is a little bit sweeter than winning it somewhere else. I'm really proud to be from Long Island, and to win the award here really means a lot to me. And that's another thing that I think is really fabulous, is to be given an award by the audience. The audience voted for the award, and that really means the most because that's who I made the film for.
So what's next for Bob and the Monster?
We're going to continue traveling the film festival circuit, probably through the end of the year. There's a lot of big festivals in the fall that we plan on attending, and we will do a DVD release at the end of this year or early 2012. So you'll be able to buy the DVD, get it on Netflix, iTunes, etc. It's just been an incredibly nurturing environment. And for filmmakers, we show up to these festivals and there's, you're there with your art and you're showing it to the people. So to be embraced in such a nurturing environment and have them bring you into the crowd and to have them be proud of your work, to show your work. They've done just an incredible job of doing that. The parties, the panels, this is outstanding. And so, yeah, it's just, I would encourage anybody to show their film here, and I will be back to visit even if I don't have a film.
The message for anybody going through addiction, all these kids in Hollywood or people in the Midwest, is a huge prescription drug epidemic. It's possible, and I hope that by being so public with my recovery, it'll make it inspire other people to realize like it can happen to them. Sobriety and a new life can happen to them. Because I think the whole anonymity of when you get better is outdated and old-fashioned and stupid. And that's why I was willing to go along with the movie. Basically, it's the story of very simply, what my life was like, what happened in my life, and what my life is like now. And if anybody's a part of any 12-step group, they know that's the basis of sharing the message of hope.
When somebody had asked me early on in the process, she's a filmmaker, like mentor, she said, "How do you want your audience to feel when they walk out?" And I said, encouraged to get over hurdles in their own life, encouraged to push themselves further, inspired to be mad for living, to find a passion and to keep that thing that keeps you burning for life. To walk away with even a little bit of that from Bob is what I hope for. And so when I hear that coming back in the audience, as you heard last night, that's happening. And so there could be nothing better than that for me. That's exactly why I made the film, and to see it come full circle and to see those faces and to see people inspired by Bob and inspired by the film, job well done.
For more information on the film, you can check out bobandthemonster.com. Chris Collora reporting.